You can ask any NBA player, and we're sure they'll tell you there's nothing better than having an amazing regular season record, followed by getting your hands on the prestigious Larry O'Brien Trophy. While some teams come up short on the big stage, there have been a lot of teams who carried their success into the postseason. If you want to know which teams they are, then don't worry because we've got you covered with this video. Starting off, we have the 1989 Detroit Pistons at number 9. The Bad Boy Pistons were one of the roughest and toughest teams of all time, and that's why they won 2 championships back-to-back. Their 1989 campaign was by far their greatest one, as they had the best record in the league with 63 wins and 19 losses. Though we're not surprised at how well they did this season because they were stacked. This team had Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Joe Dumars, Adrian Dantley, Dennis Rodman, and Mark Aguirre. They were simply unstoppable on both ends of the floor, and that's evident from their offensive rating of 110.8 and their defensive rating of 104.7. They were just as good in the postseason as they went 15-2 to win the Pistons their first ever championship. Next up, we have the 1965 Boston Celtics at number 8. Much like the Pistons, this Celtics squad was insanely OP. You had Bill Russell leading the way on the boards and on defense, while Sam Jones and John Havlicek did most of the scoring for the team. They were simply too dominant to be beaten, and that's why they had the best record in the league with 62 wins and 18 losses. After going 8-4 in the postseason, the Celtics lifted their 8th championship trophy in just 9 years. Moving on, we have the 1960 Boston Celtics at number 7. The Celtics basically ran the NBA from 1957 to 1969, so that's why they're making yet another appearance on this list. Somehow this team was even better than that 1965 squad because over half the squad was averaging double-digit points. You had Bill and Tom Heinsohn averaging double-doubles, then you had Kusi and many others putting up lots of points as well. Their squad was able to lead the team to the best record in the league with 59 wins and 16 losses before they went 8-5 to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Now we have a 3-way tie at number 6. 3 teams had a record 65-17 before they went on to win a ring. That's an 81% win rate. Philadelphia did it first back in 1983, with Moses Malone and Julius Erving leading the way. There's no way this team couldn't have been great all season long. They had an offensive rating of 108.3, while their defensive rating was an unbelievably good 100.9. As you can see, thanks to Malone and Erving, the team was virtually unstoppable.
Gets the point, so Moses Malone gives Philadelphia their first lead of the ball game.
They steamrolled through their competition in the playoffs as they lost only 1 out of 13 games before winning Philly a ring for the first time in 16 years. Then 4 years later, the Lakers went 65-17 as well, and just like Philly, they had the best record in the league. They were menaces as Magic and Kareem would put on a show on a nightly basis, giving them an amazing offensive rating of 115.6 and a defensive rating of 106.5. After going 15-3 in the playoffs, the Lakers got their hands on another championship. Then in 2009, it was the Lakers once again who won a championship after Kobe led the team to a record of 65-17. With Kobe and Powell running the show, the team was great in the postseason as well, going 16-7, including a gentleman's sweep in the finals. Following that, we have another 3-way tie at number 5. There have been 3 separate teams in NBA history who've won an NBA championship after having a record of 66-16 in the regular season. The first team to do it was the 1971 Milwaukee Bucks, who were led by none other than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. After putting up a staggering 31.7 points per game, coupled with 16 boards, Kareem allowed the Bucks to be first in the East, followed by a 12-2 record en route to a championship. Then we have the 2008 Boston Celtics, who also had a record of 66-16. After assembling one of the most talented big threes in NBA history before the start of the season, the Celtics took the league by storm and snagged the first spot in the Eastern Conference with an offensive rating of 110.2 and a phenomenal defensive rating of 98.9. After going 16-10 in the postseason, the Celtics got their hands on the prize after decades. And of course, we have the 2013 Miami Heat, who was also first in the East when they won 66 games. LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh were another phenomenal trio, and that's why their offensive rating stood at 112.3 and their defensive rating was 103.7. They were amazing in the playoffs as they went 17-7 en route to winning their second straight championship. Coming up, we have a 5-way tie at number 4. There have been 5 different seasons where a team went on to win it all after having a regular season record of 67-15. The Boston Celtics were the first team to do it back in 1986 when they were being led by Larry Legend. With a defensive rating of 102.6 and an offensive rating of 111.8, Boston was first in the East before going 15-3 in the postseason to win the championship. The next team to do it was the 1992 Chicago Bulls, who also took the top spot in the East that year. After going 15-7 in the postseason, the Jordan-led Bulls won their second of many championships. Following that, we have the 2000 LA Lakers. After being at the top of the standings with an offensive rating of 107.3 and a spectacular defensive rating of 98.2, Shaq and Kobe led the Lakers to a 15-7 postseason record to win the Lakers their first championship in years.
Screen by Gasol. This is over both Yao and Pattier. Kobe Bryant.
Then we have 2 seasons where the Warriors won it all after going 67-15 in the regular season. They did so first in 2015 when they were the best in the West and had an offensive rating of 111.6, while their defensive rating stood at a remarkable 101.4. Golden State then went 67-15 again in 2017, earning themselves the top spot in the West for the 3rd straight year. Their postseason records were great in both seasons, but that 2017 team's 17-1 record was jaw-dropping. Then at number 3, we have the 1967 Philadelphia 76ers. During this time, the 76ers were home to the man, the myth, the legend, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. It's not surprising that Philly had the best record in the league with 68 wins and 13 losses. In fact, they started the season with a record of 46-4, which is still the best record for a franchise through the first 50 games of a season. With a win percentage of almost 84%, Philly was a nightmare to face because Wilt was doing it all. He was scoring, grabbing boards, and dishing dimes like it was nothing. Though while Wilt was the star of the show, we can't forget about the contributions of Hal Greer, Chet Walker, and Billy Cunningham either. Thankfully for the 76ers, the squad was able to carry their momentum into the postseason with an 11-4 record to win Philly their first NBA championship. Coming up, we have a 2-way tie at number 2. 2 teams have gone 69-13 before winning a ring, and the Lakers did it first in 1972. The team was simply unstoppable this season as they went on a 24-game win streak during the regular season, a record that they held for 24 seasons. But if you take a close look at their squad that year, those numbers aren't surprising, as they had Wilt, West, and Goodrich leading the way. With a 12-3 postseason record, the Lakers went on to win their 6th championship. Then the 1997 Chicago Bulls won 69 games as well, and with their core of Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman still being better than ever, not a single person was expecting anything less. They went 15-4 in the postseason before winning their 5th championship in just 8 years. Finally, we have the 1996 Bulls at number 1. Arguably the greatest team of all time, the 96 Bulls were on another level. They set the record for the most wins in the season at 72-10, which wasn't broken until 2016. With a win percentage of almost 88%, teams just had no answer for Jordan and his squad. Their offensive rating stood at a staggering 115.2, while their defensive rating was equally impressive at 101.8. The Bulls were on a tear from start to finish, and after 15 of their 18 postseason games, the Bulls won their 4th championship, and Jordan solidified himself as being on a level above the rest.
Hardaway lost it, stripped by Jordan. Oh, beautiful move by Jordan to hit.
That's a wrap for this video. Out of all the teams on this list, which one do you think is the best? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.